I was born in Genia, a village in central Kenya. My life blossomed to a work within a welcoming environment that seemed to never lose its beauty. The coffee plantations, mangoes, and avocado trees made up the most of the vegetation. Each day was a miracle. The ridges in the rugged terrain of the Kenyan highlands faced each other. When I climbed a mango tree in our shamba, I would always see the grinning faces of these ridges and small streams of livers that wound down these ridges like glittering snakes. The mooing of cows, bleating of sheep, the crowing of roosters fills the air all the time. I have called this place small village home, despite the disappearing green color that has been a result of drought and deforestation. Life in Kenya could be described as in one word: hopeless. My family did not have access to running water or electricity, and many times we could not afford food. We live in a farming community surrounded by coffee plantations where the people of Kenya work to earn their living. Each day when I was a child, my mom and grandmother walked several miles to the plantations, hoping to be the first workers so that they might work until late evening to earn $2 a day so our family might eat. I began picking coffee beans with them when I turned 4 years old. Our faith held our family together. Our family would wake up 3 a.m. in the morning every day for prayer. We thank God for another day, despite the lingering hunger from the night before. When I was of school age, my mom and grandmother insisted that I get an education. Although I was a quick learner and did well in primary school, I questioned the point of going to school, since most people I knew who went through primary school remained coffee bean pickers. My parents did not tolerate my attitude. They dreamed of a future for my sisters and me beyond harvesting coffee beans. They worked hard to purchase our school uniforms, which were purposefully several sizes too big so that they would last. After all, it was never certain when the next good coffee season would be, or if we would have enough money to buy more uniforms. They continued to send us to primary school, hoping for a future for us against all odds. In 2007, a miracle happened. I was selected to be featured in the documentary A Small Act, which tells the story of how a little girl named Hilda Beck, who was sent to Sweden to escape the Holocaust, later became a school teacher, and in the 1970s sponsored a Kenyan child so that he might attend primary school in his village. Because of Hilda's generosity, that boy, Chris Mburu, a boy from my village, began to dream of a hopeful future. He later applied for and received a Fulbright scholarship to attend Harvard University, becoming a human rights lawyer who today works for the United Nations. Chris started a charitable organization in Hilda's name, which awards scholarships to bright children who cannot afford to attend high school. As the award winning as the award-winning film shows, I was awarded a high school scholarship through the Hildeback Education Fund. For my family, the opportunity to attend high school was like having spent a lifetime training water and finally being tossed on a boy. High school changed my perspective, converted my hopelessness to a positive mindset. I began to dream of becoming a doctor, a pilot, or an engineer, owning a house with electricity and running water, and providing for my family so that we would never have to go to sleep hungry. I thought about owning a coffee plantation and giving better cares to workers. I no longer thought of myself as a coffee bean picker. I had a new vision of an expansive future. In 2014, my family received another miracle. By this point, the documentary had made it around the film festival cycles, including being picked for the prestigious Sundance Film Festival. Linda Hochschild from the United States saw the movie and reached out to me through Facebook to express her interest in sponsoring me to attend college in America. Linda's offer sounded too good to be true, but she was persistent and helped me apply for and get accepted to the University of Wisconsin Parkside. I remember getting a visa at 4 p.m. and flying out at 10 p.m. the same day. I began attending classes in September 2014. Adapting to my new environment was difficult at times because it was very different from Kenya. After all, we had no snow blankets the ground every Wisconsin winter. I had to adjust being away from home in a foreign country. having to speak English all the time, and trying to help people understand my Kenyan accent. I had to make sense of a different educational system, eat unfamiliar foods, and much more. Linda and her husband Dale and their children and grandchildren welcomed me as one of their own and helped me get through my first year of college. Halfway through the last academic year, my sponsor family experienced significant financial hardship. Linda, Linda had been Linda had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. As well, the business family had declined. It was hard not knowing whether I would be able to continue being in college. I started a GoFundMe account and I was able to raise enough money for the fall semester at the University of Wisconsin. I later reached out to a friend who helped me get into contact with Northwest University admissions office. After a few days of going through the admissions process, I was honored with the opportunity to become an NU Eagle. Talons up! Because of the Hochschild's generosity, I experienced things I had never dreamed of at home in my tiny village. I flew in an airplane. I learned that there's more than one kind of cheese. I blew out candles at my first birthday celebration just this past year. I discovered that I love playing golf and watching falling snow. But what I value more than anything has been the gift of education because I have seen its transformative power in my life. Not too long ago, I was just an ordinary village boy destined to live life as a coffee bean picker. That was my heritage and that was my future. But today, my horizon stretches far wide, full of possibility, and I am still awe of what each day has become for me. I am thankful for my parents. I am thankful that my parents did not give up. Instead, they cast a vision for a future. It is because of their vision, optimism, and sacrifice, along with the generosity of many others like that, I am where I am today. Nelson Mandela, a politician, apartheid revolutionist, a philanthropist, first black president of South Africa, once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Candidly, I have seen these words come true. Education has given me a new identity and a new perspective. It has molded me into a new person who thinks everything can change due to a good education. The socio-political, economic, and cultural depreciation can be salvaged in many ways, but education is the best tool to offer solutions to these problems. However, education is being faced with many challenges, among them poverty, poor political systems, underfunded school districts, and even students taking opportunities to get education for granted. While poverty varies from place to place, meaning that some walk 5 miles to school with lingering hunger from the previous nights, to others being bummed because they must take the school bus where their friends drive to school, the motivation to stay in school is affected as a result. I once visited a school in the city of Milwaukee as a speaker. Although most children had lived in Wisconsin their whole lives, the dairy capital of the US, they had never seen a cow. One of the teachers told me they had never seen Lake Michigan, a giant body of water located a couple blocks from the school. It was sad nothing positive in their community. It was sad nothing. It was sad nothing positive in their community. Their hopes had been limited by the ghetto where they lived with its low standard of living. Of course, they had a good chance to go to school, yet they had failed to see the point of it. Crime, poverty, racial inequality had become the inheritance. I could relate to everything they told me that day. Although we were raised in very different settings, the general conditions were similarly confining. It was at that moment I realized that children need more than just access to a quality education. Society needs a way to motivate its young citizens, teaching them to embrace hope. As Christians, we each have been called to help others, to be agents of change. We have a responsibility to be trusted with little, so that more can be given to us once we have proven ourselves faithful. We have a small axe to do to change the world. It is upon us teachers, parents, and students to bestow hope on those who do not have it or cannot see it under their present circumstances. We are our brother's keeper and a neighbor, the proverbial good Samaritan. Today, we are here at this college because our parents gave very much to enroll us in school. We are here that we are here while others were either while other young people who were in my situation a couple years ago continue to consider education as a life and death issue. Let us not take this opportunity for granted. Let us mobilize ourselves to embrace the hard work that our parents put in to help us become educated. As we congregate today, I would like every one of us to remember that it is true we cannot help everyone, yet everyone can help someone. Let us not be overwhelmed to the point of inaction by the immense need in the world. There always remains a small act that you can do to help. Let's give education to everyone around the world, the best weapon to change the world, as the late Nelson Mandela challenged us to enact. His exemplary life continues to echo this powerful message today. Thank you.